So even when you've reached the top using using modulation, and you can still go a bit further with the expression, adding this bit layer of maybe accent, like you go kind of just blow it all over. I'm Viktor Ingi. I'm the composer and audio director at Myrkur Games. I have been using this ring since probably August or September of 2019, and almost on like a daily, weekly basis. I just put this to everything. If I need to control an orchestra, done. If I need to control a high-pass filter on a synth, done. If I need to control an XY pad on a granular modular synthesizer, done. If you're doing orchestral music, if you're doing like these sound designy things which you want to have like live perimeters going on, just try this ring. It has a really fast like pickup rate, like the buffer rate, like of how fast it picks up your movements is pretty damn good. This is less error prone because when you use the modulation on your keyboard, you kind of stagnates at some point and it starts to feel unnatural. It just doesn't sync right. Like you can, and people do, but this just feels so like This has basically made my music composition faster. If you have ever move your hands while listening to music, this will come super naturally. So now I'm going to flesh out a string part, or a tremolo string part, on a pad to sketch up an idea I have over this existing soundtrack here. So this is the current sound, and I have to sketch. I feel it's a bit empty, so I'm just going to add some minor tremolo strings to it. When I'm composing for string sections, I often record all the individual tracks, like all the violins, cellos, and all these things separately, without modulation, just like me pressing on the keyboard. So it will sound kind of loud and mechanical. And then I'll go in afterwards and add like a second layer of modulation on top, and then blend it in. So I have all the tracks selected. I've currently recorded, and so I just kind of roll them. If I would have made a mistake here, I can either go again, or I can take a single one of these, edit it a bit, and then just copy that one over to all the other ones. And since at this point they're all following the same logic, this goes by really fast. Instead of, like, if you want like a more cohesive sound, you can do this. So currently I'm working on building kind of a Straylight library for myself, trying to put whatever audio file I can find into it and see how it sounds. Because Straylight has this wonderful feature where you can drop your own audio files. And using the inbuilt kind of settings, I can change that around and just try to make things sound weird, eerie, or cool. Or and the good thing, it kind of maps all over the keyboard, so you can give super interesting drones. As well as these kind of melodic patterns. And so forth and forth. And you can put whatever you want into this. I put, we had like a shaker, a kind of like shaker with just pure nuts, like actual like nuts kind of banded together, and just like rolling them around, and then we put that in here and you get this weird oceanic texture. Which is great for ambience, just excellent for all kinds of ambience. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm currently working on, just testing and building all these different sounds and using the ring to kind of make it alive. When I sit down and compose, I always have Vienna Ensemble Pro open with all my like orchestral instruments and Cubase. Oh, actually, we upgraded to Nuendo just for sake of having a bit more features directly relating to naming things, loudness metering, and well, game-oriented things. I turn on the keyboard, I turn on Softwave, I activate the ring, and then we're ready. I have Softwave set up in a way so I can always see the part, like the tilt itself, like the screen just kind of etched in between all my other softwares, so I can always know kind of where I'm at just by looking at the screen. It's especially nice when it's just super close to the modulation line itself, and it's just like you can see that both there and how Softwave is acting. But when you're just using simple automation, using single instruments, you don't really know where you are except if you want to look at the ring or just look at Softwave. So having Softwave open at all times and like visible, it's very nice. So my CC setup in Softwave is, on preset 1 I have CC1. It's the bread and butter of everything I do. 2 is connected to the XY pad using CC1 and CC11. Preset number 3 is CC7, which is just pure volume. It's good to have, for example, the stray light patches. CC2 is assigned to preset number 4. It's the like vibrato on and off for many orchestral templates. So you can either have like the flat versus. Then I have CC30, which is nothing. It's nothing. It's just I have it just in case I need to MIDI learn something really fast. Like, oh, I want this parameter. MIDI learn. CC30 is ready. I can use it. And then I have just pure CC11, just in case I need it. And then preset number 7 is the dual ring CC1, CC11 setup that I'm still working on. The ring itself is an evolving process with you as a composer. I've changed these settings on a monthly basis for a very long time until like half a year ago or so, where I kind of settled down. I was like, yeah, no, this is definitely what I like. I sat here down for an extensive amount of time just figuring like, where's the lowest point I go when I'm using like modulation? Like, do I go lower than this? Okay, this is the lowest point. Excellent. Like, how high do I go? And then I put that in, and then I do the same thing for everything else. This might evolve more because I'm looking into adding a second ring to my setup. One is stuck to CC1, which is the modulation, and then the other one is stuck to CC11, which is the expression, or kind of extension of volume. And by using both rings, I can kind of set it up in that way, because the modulation one is way more expressive and goes up and down more frequently, while the expression one is more static, but really helps just to add a bit more velocity or kind of a a grandeur to whatever you're doing. So even when you've reached the top using using modulation, and you can still go a bit further with the expression, adding this bit layer of maybe accent, like you go kind of just blow it all over, and at the same time when you go down, modulation is all the way down, you're very quiet, and then you just tilt your expression just a bit lower just to fade it out. So yeah, this is what I've been trying out. Like, this fundamentally works really well. I'll get back to you when I've done a bunch of this. Hit me up in the air.